start now.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us live. We're getting started here. We're beating the rain, and we are here with our senior archaeologist.
Hello, my name is Kristi Nichols, and with me I have Mark Luzmoor. Both of us are from Raba, Kistner Environmental. We are archaeologists there. Currently, we are trying to beat the rain. Yesterday, put a damper on what we wanted to do because we could not get a little portion of time where we could get in and do some work. Today, we're actually able to pull back the tarps and get some profiling done and plan viewing. So those are the detailed drawings that we had discussed on Friday, I think, and on Thursday as well. So we're just trying to gather as much information as we can before the rain really finally comes and kind of drowns the possibility of doing more archaeology work in here. The past couple days we've been busy bailing the water from our tarps and the excavation area. Luckily what we've done is put a lot of sandbags down and stuff, so that's helped to divert some of the water, but we still have a little bit coming in. So we've been using buckets and dustpans and just strength to kind of move the water around and get it out of our units and get it out of the excavation area. And we were lucky enough that a good portion of the excavation area is pretty dry. There's a few muddy parts in there, and a couple of our units had a little bit of water in it, but nothing to completely stop us today from doing the documentation that we need to do. And I think that's about it when it comes to what we're doing today.
So what kind of time frame are you looking at? You still plan on wrapping up this week?
It looks like we need to wrap it up this week. So I had intentionally hoped to do a little bit more unit excavations, but because of the weather, I think we're going to have to stop that and just concentrate on documentation right now and close up the site.
So when will that happen?
We're hoping by the end of this week, but of course that also has to do with the weather. We do have a few more technical mapping things that we need to do that require lasers and the total data system, which means that we need to take down all of our tarps and all the canopies so they can get a clean shot of what we have there. And until it stops raining, we can't do that.
What's some of the documentation that you're talking about, how you need to do mapping and stuff? Can you go into that a little bit more?
What we do is we do detailed drawings. So I do set up a grid on a piece of graph paper, and we do a plan view, which is like looking down on top of the unit. We get elevations of where the features are, certain stone heights, the elevation of the bottom of our unit, any interesting features that we've come across. That's a plan view. Now a profile is actually looking at the side of our units and drawing the different lines of stratigraphy of the way the soil has settled to kind of give us an idea of the process of how the site was buried over the years. And that's of course detailed drawings. We take measurements like every 10 centimeters to show where each one of these stratigraphy lines hit. It's after a while it's a little bit like connect the dots because we kind of chase out lines and try to put it all together. Drawing rocks and other little interesting items that we can find on there.
So what will then be done with that?
Those are usually then either drafted, typically drafted and prepared for the final publication. If you ever look at an archaeological report, about half of the figures that you have in there are these detailed drawings, just to give people an understanding of what they're seeing. And usually we kind of pair them up against the photograph that we're taking as well. So you can see, the detailed drawing of what we think we're seeing with all the soil information, texture, colors, unique things that are going on in there, as well as the photograph to show us how it kind of looked when we're looking at it.
So people will be able to see, we think this is part of the wall, we think this is part of the gate, that kind of thing.
Yeah, usually, and I'm not saying about this, but usually when we're doing profiles, sometimes when you start drawing the lines and showing how the stratigraphy is, you catch things that you might not have noticed as you were digging down. Things like trench outlines or, root lines are one of the things we found, sometimes post holes and things like that. So it's one of those very informative processes that has to happen while we're doing the archaeology work. It's not just digging, it's a lot of documentation and research and things like that as well. So,
Mark, how exciting is it to work on something like this as an archaeologist?
I mean, it's very exciting, especially down here at the Alamo. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work down here as an archaeologist. I mean, I've only been one for 5 or 6 years, and I've already been given this great opportunity. So, I mean, it's hard work. It's hot down here. We're in a fenced-in area, so it's even less of a breeze. So it's definitely hard work, but it's worth it.
Awesome. And we have had some questions from the public. Everyone is kind of excited. They want to see down in the hole. They want to kind of really be able to see it. And that is not a traditional thing for archaeology. Can you give us some perspective as to why that is?
Typically, it's because we still need time to interpret what we're seeing. A lot of people jump to conclusions like, oh, look at that right there. And you're like, you know, I got to look at it some more. I don't know if this is exactly what we're looking at. I know for the past few days, actually past couple weeks, we've been looking at maps every day after I come in. And, you know, how does this line up to what we're seeing in the ground? And so it's one of those things that, yes, I understand everybody's really excited, but we still need to make sure that we're confident with our interpretation before we tell everybody what's going on. And that's one of the things that the report will help do, is when the report is finally out, you will see these things, how we came to the conclusions, you know, all the information that supports what we're thinking is going on here. Any other questions?
Anything else you want to add?
No, it's just nice to get some rain, but wish it would stop right now.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
For tuning in. That was Kristi and Mark with Raba Kistner for our daily briefing. It's still a little wet out here in downtown San Antonio. We love to hear where you guys are tuning in from. This is a little bit of the dig site that we're looking at here. Obviously, we've got a lot of tarps, a lot of canopy. We've had a lot of rain over the past couple of days. So thanks so much for tuning in. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Leave any questions or comments here, and we'll get to them in our next briefing, which will hopefully happen tomorrow, pending weather at 10:30 a.m. We'll see everyone then.